So yesterday, not exactly yesterday, in the previous class, we have completed regarding to introduction of Python and identifiers, how you could able to create an identifier and what are the rules and regulations you are supposed to follow to create one identifier, and what are the special characters which are involved into a particular identifier. If underscore can be involved into identifier, what exactly we have called them? They will be any identifier will be starts with single underscore, that is a private. Double underscore, that could be considered as strictly or strongly private, something like that. We have already seen. And any function or any method which could be get starts with two underscores and the function name followed by two underscores, they will be called as magical functions, and system defined functions are magical functions. So something like that we have seen in the previous class. Today, in this class, we would like to concentrate in continuation of the previous class. We would like to concentrate on reserved words and data types of Python. We would like to see what are the reserved words and what are the different kinds of data types which are available with the Python will be taken into consideration. Normally, reserved words could also be called as the keywords. Keywords in the sense, these are the words, a set of sequence of characters will be considered as a reserved word, which could be perform a specific operation. A specific operation. You could consider here, you could able to consider, so some words will be considered as reserved words. Otherwise, a sequence of characters will be considered as a word, and that word could be perform a specific functionality. Okay, if you apply that particular operation, that particular word, it could be gives you some specific functionality. Then such kind of words are called as reserved words. Already you have come across with C and C++ also. I hope that C++ also have completed the reserved words. So those are the called. And here Python has so exactly 33 reserved words. In C we have 32. In C++ we have approximately 48. And in Python, we have very less in number of reserved words, that is 33. I have distributed into several number of categories. First one is Boolean variables, Boolean values, not variables, Boolean values, that is true, so false and none. And second one is logical operations, that is and, are, not, and is. And fourth one is selective control structures. They are if, elif, and else. And fifth one is the continuation of iterative and so unconditional clauses. That is while, for, break. Unconditional is break, continue, return, in, and yield. And then followed by these are all these are related to exception handling, try, except, finally, raise, assert. All these are related to exception handling, and these will be related to actual Python programming, that is import something from something as something like this. All these things will be considered as Python function kind of issues. Then when you have to define any method for those methods, so what exactly we're trying to do, all those things will be taken into consideration. If you count all these, we do have 33. If you count all this, we do have 33. You are not supposed to use these words as variables, these words as identifiers. You are not supposed to use them, because as and when if you use them, so obviously it does have its own activity. Okay, if you are supposed to use if it does have its own activity. If you are not supposed to satisfy that activity, obviously it will be leads you to syntax error. So that is why anywhere else you are not supposed to use these words as identifiers or the variable names. And you need to understand one thing here, right away from this place to the below place, all these things are lowercase letters. All these things are lowercase letters. Whereas if you consider this, that is why I have make them into bold. These are get starts with the capital letter as first character and remaining are lowercase letters. Okay, so these are get starts with the capital letters as first character and remaining letters are lowercase letters. Okay, so that is the importance of these three different kinds of things here. These are peculiar kind of things which are specifying the Boolean values. Boolean values. That is what I have given here. All reserved words are Python contain only alphabets, and more specifically lowercase alphabets. More specifically lowercase alphabets, except true, false, and none. These must be always starts with capital T, capital F, and capital N. You need to remember this. Okay, as and when you have to operate true. So this true is not accepted. This is not accepted. This false, FALSE, something like this, not accepted. NONE, not accepted. Okay, these three are not keywords. So this is a capital T, RUE is a keyword and or reserved word for doing such kind of operation. So these are the three different types of things here. So that's what I have given here. A equal to true. It is a syntax error. Whereas A will be equal to TRUE. Yes, it could be correct. TRUE in the sense a Boolean value can be stored here. Okay. So if you want to list out all these things, so then you have to import this KEYWORD. There is a package. That package will be imported to your program or to your Python environment, and you have to print keyword.kwlist. Let me show you. Let me show you how these are. So after installation, you could see this particular symbol, So you could open this one. Obviously, command prompt of your Python will be get seems like this. So Python 3.8.2, you could see this one, Python 3.8.2. And copyrights and credits and license and more, everything is there. This is working on 64-bit operating system. 64-bit operating system. So now, so what are the commands we have expected to type here? Import keyword, import KEYWORD. Yes, import has been done. Then KEYWORD dot KWLIST. Okay, if you type this one, yes, you can see all these things will be displayed to you. So actually, this is the total list, but I have segregate them into different classes. So first one is Boolean, second one is if control structure, third one is iterative control structure, fourth one is some other, and so on and so forth. Okay, like that I have segregated. So look at this: FALSE, F is capital, none, N is capital, true, T is capital, and remaining everything is lowercase letter. Okay, you please understand this. This is the information regarding to keywords. Then data types. So actually, as we said in the previous class, in the previous session, so one of the features of Python is it is a dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed language in the sense, no need to declare your variables. Integer x, float, some f, something like that, you are not supposed to declare. Directly x equal to some 20, you have to use it. Or some s equal to Newton, within single quotes or double quotes, Newton. Yes, you can use it. Directly you can use it. So that is why this is called as a dynamically typed language. So even then, though it is a dynamically typed language, based on the value which we have to place into that particular variable, it must be because any language must be always work out with only variables only, and those variables must be in terms of some data type. Without data type, language cannot be work anymore. Without data type, language cannot work anymore. So PVM, Python Virtual Machine, could be take care about that particular data type. So, okay, how this could be? How this could be done here in the sense data type will be represent the type of data what we have stored with a particular variable. So like this in Python, we are not supposed to declare our type explicitly. Something like in C or C++, some integer X, it is not supposed to be specified. So that is what one of the greatest features of are very, very important features of so Python, that is dynamically typed. Okay, based on the value you have provided, type will be defined. Okay, that is what already I have given here. So dynamically typed language. Okay. Then here Python have so many as many number of inbuilt data types. They are integer, float, double, complex, bools, bytes, byte array, range, list, tuple, set, frozen set, dictionary, and none. These are all different kinds of data types. Look at this. So here, a list is a data structure. Tuple is a data structure. It is not a simple data type. It is a data structure. And a set is another data structure. And frozen set is also another data structure. Dictionary is also another data structure. Okay, all these are data structures. And the range will be always used to provide some values within some 0 to some range, something like that. So other than this, all these are actual data types. All of these are actual data types. Okay. Of course, all of these 14 are data types only, but as we studied in our C or C++, we have studied something like that: primary or scalar data types, structured data types, pointer data types, something like that we have studied in our previous languages. In a similar fashion, here also we would like to consider, so these are all scalar. And whatever I have mentioned here, all these are the tick mark, all these are structured kind of thing. I mean, simply speaking, in Python, there is no structure. They are called as data structures. They are not supposed to be structured. They are data structures. None will be a pointer. None will be a pointer. Okay. For example, if you want to assign a variable in your Python, so how you could done here? A will be equal to some 10. Okay, B will be equal to some 20. Okay, something like this. You could directly add these values. I mean, directly, so use these values. Let me say C equal to, so A plus B. So already arithmetic operators are known to you. So that is why I'm directly using this particular arithmetic operations here. So C will be equal to A plus B. Directly I'm using. Okay, it has been. Then how could you get the values of all these three? So there are several functions which are used for you. So those functions are, so let me explain one more concept is there. Let me explain this one after some time. There are several, okay, before going to that, everything, whatever the thing which is being occupied some memory, whatever the thing which is being occupied some memory in Python is called as a object. It is a particular object. So to know the things, we have three many built-in functions are there, but based on the data types, we have three different kinds of built-in functions which are very much useful for us. First one is type, second one is ID, third one is print. So type is used to check the data type of that particular variable. ID is used to get the address of that particular object or variable. Print is trying to use it to get the value from that particular variable and can be place the value onto the screen. So let me go ahead with these three first. Okay, so let us take this one, type of A. What is the type of A here? That is an integer. And the type of B, what is the type of B here? That is again an integer, because we have taken only whole number, so that is why it is an integer. Type again, so C, type of C, it's also an integer. Let me take F equal to, so 10.254 and some S equal to, so ABC. Okay, let me take like this. Now check the type of F. Check the type of F. F is a float. because we have been taken, a decimal point has been incorporated here. So that is why it is called as a float. And the type, so yes, what is the value of yes? It is a string because we have introduced so a string or assigned a string to yes. So that is why it is called as a string here. Okay, so it is called as a string here. Now the point is very important point I would like to discuss here. I hope that everybody do understand what exactly the type is. Type is always trying to get the actual data type, actual data which is being stored in that particular variable. So a equal to 10, I am trying to introduce only integer value to a. So look at this, what is the type of a here? That is integer. Similarly, f equal to 10.234, so a float value has been inserted or a float has been assigned to, so f, so the type of f is float. Okay, let me take some y will be equal to true, true. Now type of so y, type of y, it is a boolean kind of variable. Okay, so like this you have to assign a particular value to a variable, and obviously you have to apply its type, apply or impose the type built-in function on that particular object. It could gives you the data type of that particular variable here. And more and more very important point I would like to discuss. So as far as this particular point here, the point is already I told you, I would like to discuss this one sometime. So let me take a equal to 10. So there is a memory location. The memory location will be called as a, okay, will be equal to 10. And b equal to 20. So there is another memory location, that is b, which will be equal to 20. C equal to again 10. In other languages other than Python, in other languages, since we have given a separate name and which is being assigned already existed value. So C equal to 10 in the sense, in other languages, what exactly it could be done here in the sense, it could be create one more extra variable, that variable equal to C, and could be store the value of 10. So in Python, it could not be done. In Python, so whatever the variable you have taken with the same value which is already existed in the memory, so this location will be also identifies with C. So for our kind information, I have already executed the statements in the previous while I'm preparing this one here. So try to observe this one. ID of A. Try to observe the last 4 characters. 23424. ID of C. 23424. Same location. ID of B. 23744. ID of D. 23744. Let me give you the same information here also as far as the point is concerned here. Okay, let me take some P equal to some 20, Q equal to some 45, and then A and then let me say O equal to again 20, and then G equal to some 45. I have taken these values. So P and Q has the same value. Q and G does have the same value. Okay. Then second built-in function is ID. ID will be always get the address of your variable. ID of P will be gives you. So this is the location. So this is the address where exactly you have been stored. I mean, Python has stored P equal to 20. And ID of Q, let me consider Q. So this is the location. Let us go ahead with the ID of O, whether it could be taken the same location or not. The value which has been generated ID of P will be equal to the value of ID of O which is being generated. So that is why Python will be saves memory. Python will be saves huge amount of memory. That is what you need to understand here. Okay, and the ID of one more value, ID of G. ID of G will be, look at this. So this is the ID of Q. Same thing was allocated for ID of G also. So both locations will be taken, same kind of location. Same kind of location will be given by 2 different names. If you have 2 different names does have same kind of value, something like this, they will be identified. So this is the importance of so the Python. Python does always saves memory. So 10 will be there in that location. Other variable also hold the 10. Then immediately it could be also given the same location to identify. Okay. So that is the specification you need to understand here. So then followed by the print. Print is always trying to print out the values. Print of so some G. What is the value of I? So that is the specification. Okay, 45 is the content of G here. Something like that. It could be printed here. Then followed by integer type. We can use this type of to represent whole numbers or integral values. Okay, always integral values. So something like this, and we can represent this integer values in following way. It could be in terms of binary, decimal, or binary, or octal, or hexadecimal. An integer could be able to define in these four different types of ways. Okay. So normally decimal is the system where exactly the default system for any kind of language. But why it has been taken something like this in the sense the people whomever work with today, the people whomever work with is only decimal system. So that is why, so decimal system will be the default system for any language in the world. Okay, let us discuss each and everything in a particular way. A decimal. We know that this is base 10. Okay, so it is a default number system for Python, and it could be allowed 0 to 9. Okay, it is already known to you, but it is my responsibility to explain. So that is why. So binary form, it is base 2. Binary form, it is base 2. How this could be? It could be allowed either 0 or 1. And what is the importance of this one here in the sense? As and when you have to specify a number, that number will be prefixed with 0B, small b, or 0 capital B. That's what you need to understand. Look at this. Something like this. I'll show you. Some ABC will be equal to 0B, so 0, 0, 1. Otherwise 1, 0, 1, 0. 1, 0, 1, 0, the decimal value, equivalent value equal to, so 10. Print, so ABC, the variable ABC. Look at this. Print the variable ABC. Okay, so this value will be so actually equal to this one. This is the binary equivalent value, and this is the decimal equivalent value. Okay, something like this it has been took place here. You can use some XYZ. XYZ will be equal to 0 capital X. So 1, 0, 1, 1. This is 11 actually. Print XYZ. Okay, what is this? Capital X. I'm sorry. It is not capital X. I'm very sorry. It is a capital B. We are talking about a binary. X in the sense that is actually the hexadecimal. I'm very sorry. This is B, binary. So then print XYZ 11. Okay, print XYZ 11. Okay. Then the octal form, which is base 8, it could be accepted 0 to 7. 0 to 7, totally 8 digits, and literal will be always starts with 0 O, either small o or 0 or capital O. So that could be considered as so octal system. Okay, it could be seems in such a fashion, And then hexadecimal base 16, and it could be accepted either 0 to 9 and A to F. These A to F might be in both lowercase and uppercase. Lowercase letters and uppercase letters will be accepted as specifying the base 16, that is hexadecimal value. So it could be always seems 0x, otherwise 0 capital X. It is not into, it is X. Okay, it could be seems like this. It could be seems in such a way. Okay, and these values are very useful for us to represent your binary data, hexadecimal data, or so octal data here. Okay, so Lateral values in decimal, binary, and hexadecimal forms. It is very easy to take such kind of thing, being as the developer or programmer. So, however, so PVM will be responsible. Python virtual machine will be responsible to convert all these numbers into decimal form. Okay, already we have seen. I have given the value as 0, 0, B1010, and then when you have to print that particular value, you got this particular value. Okay, something like that. And so base conversions, how the base will be converted here in the sense, if you take any base, so whether it is binary or octal or hexa, so I wanted to convert this particular base, by default, everything will be taken in terms of decimal. Just before we have seen, we have witnessed that I have declared a variable in a binary form, and as and when you have to print that, it has been displayed in decimal. Similarly, so it could be okay. Any number system, if you define that particular number system, will be PVC, will be Python virtual machine, PVM. PVM will be automatically converted right away from any number system to decimal. It could be. Whereas if you want to convert some number system to other number system, then you need to have some number of built-in functions. First one is binary of. So it could be converted from any number system to binary. Okay, let us see something like this. Some A will be equal to 100. Okay, then so BIN of A 100 will be represented in such a way. This is the way. If you have any question, let me, A will be equal to some 7. For example, if you consider, because you know very well about what is the value of 7,111. So BIN of A, if you apply something like this, yes, 0B will be the prefix value, 1111. It is well known to you. So that is why I have taken 7 here. Okay. And some X will be equal to, okay, you may be confused with X. Some B will be equal to, so 0 octal, so 234. I have taken this one. Binary of, so B will be taken. It could be converted from octal to binary. So see here, 4 octal value is 100, 3 octal value is 011, and 2 octal value is 010. So left side, most significant bit 0 is not important, so that most significant 0 has not been specified here. So that 100111100. This is the octal equivalent value of 234. Sorry, binary equivalent value of octal 234. Okay, in such a way. Similarly, some C will be equal to 0x3AC, for example, 3AC. Okay, BIN of C. If you take this one, obviously it could be converted. So to represent hexadecimal, we require 4 binary digits. Okay, so hexadecimal value is the base of hexadecimal is 16. To represent 15th value, so 4 ones value equivalent value in terms of decimal is 15. So that so here, so C value is 1100. So A value, that is 10. A in the sense that is 10, 1010, and 3 will be 0011. So most significant 00s are not important here. So that is why they are neglected. Okay. In this way, you can able to convert from any number system to this particular binary number system. Similarly, octal, any number system to octal, if you want to convert, yes, OCT can be used as just before what I have shown. And then hexadecimal, any number system to hexa, if you want to convert, says you have to use this particular thing. So similarly, what I have shown for binary, you please apply for octal and hexa also in our Python. So these are different kinds of issues which are related to integer. An integer can be whole number. An integer can be represented in 4 formats, either decimal or binary or octal or hexadecimal. Either of these 4 different ways you have to represent. And if you want to convert from one system to another system, then BIN can be used to convert from any number of system, any system to binary. OCT can be used to convert any number system to octal. Hex will be convert any number system to hexadecimal. Okay, these are the different activities which could be there with the integer. Now you'll come across with the float. What exactly the float will be? So float will be always used to represent with the decimal values, the floating point value, otherwise with the decimal points. Okay. So then it could be seems f will be equal to 1.34. If you take the type, already we have seen the type of f, that is the float here, class float here. It has been displayed. And then you can also represent the float value by using exponential form. Exponential form in the sense that is the scientific notation actually. So how it could be, so 1.2, so 1.2 E3. What does it means? E3 in the sense 1.2 into 10 power 3. That is the meaning. So 1.2 into 10 power 3. That is the meaning. If it is minus 3 in the sense, so 1.2 into 10 power minus 3. Let us examine these two. Let us examine for these two. Okay. So for example, some f equal to 1.2 E3. Okay. Print that particular value. Print f. If you take print f, so 1200. What does it means? So 1.2 into 10 power 3 in the sense 1.2 into 1000. So 1.2 into 1000 equal to 1200. Already one point is there, so that is why 1200. If you take same value, with the minus 3, okay, if we print this one, so 1.2 divided by 10 power 3, otherwise 1.2 into 10 power minus 3. Okay, look at this, 0012. Okay, in this way you have to specify. Instead of this one, instead of small e, you could also specify capital E. There is no problem at all. Capital E could also be replaced. There is no problem at all. Okay. So the main advantage of this particular exponential form is you could able to represent big values with less amount of memory, because it has been stored something like this. Same value could be stored. Let me say I'd like to mention this particular value. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0.0. I wanted to mention this particular value in our memory. It is approximately required huge amount of memory to store. Whereas this could be represented in scientific form 1.2 into, so 2 into, let me say, not into, sorry, I'm sorry, it is not into 1.2 E, simply speaking, E, how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 zeros, that is 7. Already 0.2 has been taken. So look at this, to represent this one is required very less amount of memory, whereas it could be required huge amount of memory. So that is why exponential form will be used to represent the float value with less amount of memory. Okay, that is the information. And then we can represent an integer. You please remember this one, an integer with decimal, binary, octal, and hexadecimal, whereas you cannot represent. Otherwise, you can represent float values with only a decimal form. Simply speaking, you cannot represent float values with binary, octal, or hexadecimal. Okay, you cannot represent. You can represent with only hexadecimal. Let me show you one example for you. It could be generate some error. F will be equal to 0. Let me say binary. So 1010. Okay. Sorry. 1010.23. Okay. It could not be useful. Sorry, it could not be stored anywhere else, because immediately it could be generated some error message, invalid syntax. Okay, it is a binary value. The decimal place is integer part of this one is binary, and the decimal part will be taken as such. So that is why it could not be taken into consideration. Otherwise, some f will be equal to 0x 23a 0.445. 0x23a will be hexadecimal. 45 is the decimal value. So look at this. It could not be also not taken anything here. It is also provide some error message immediately. So that is what you need to understand. You could not represent either octal, hexa, and binary by a float value. It is highly impossible. That is what you need to remember here. Okay. Then followed by the complex. Already you people have written a particular program in our C programming language, that is A plus so IB, otherwise BI, IB or BI, whatever it may be. You have taken this one. But here in Python, instead of I, in Python it has been represented as A plus BJ, J. Instead of I, these people have taken J. Okay, so this is real part and this is imaginary part. This is real part, A is real part, and B is imaginary part. That is what it has been. J has been taken. J must be available in this particular number so that it could be a complex. Let me show you, for example. So some B will be equal to, so 5 plus 2J. What is the class of this one? Type of, so B. What is the type here? B will be a complex data type. You could observe this one, a complex data type. Okay, in this way you have to mention. And A and B are integers or floating points, there is no problem. And then examples will be something like this. Everything is eligible here. But as you said just before, so this hexadecimal, binary, and octal is not eligible to specify complex here. It is not possible to specify here. Okay, the real part we use this one, and also either specify so this one, but the imaginary part cannot be specified. But imaginary part cannot be specified with octal, binary, or hexadecimal. Only decimal part can be taken by the imaginary part. Let me give you one example. Some x will be equal to, so 0b1010.45. Let me say 101. Okay, look at this. What is this problem? Sorry, I have forgotten to put this particular value. Okay, I have forgotten to put this particular value. It has not been satisfied here. You please observe this one. It has not been satisfied here. So 10J, not satisfied. You please observe this one. Okay, so real part will be, then we can specify either. So only decimal part only. So octal or binary or hexadecimal cannot be taken. So imaginary part also taken, only decimal part, it could not be taken in either form. Okay, that's what you need to remember. Then followed by, even we can perform arithmetic operations on so these complex variables. So complex variable arithmetic in the sense, let me say some x will be equal to 12.5. So plus, okay, previously, okay, however, plus some 7.8 J, y will be equal to, so 5 plus, so 6J, something like this. So some Z will be equal to x plus y. You could operate this one. So print Z. What is the value? It could be specified something like this. So previously I have forgotten to operate this one here. So this is actually not point, it is plus actually. It could be okay. But whereas if you take something like this, 0B, 10 will be specified, then it could be have a problem. Okay. Integer part it is okay, but a real part it could not be taken, binary, hexadecimal, or octal. This could not be taken. Okay, that is what you need to remember. So like this, you can perform some kind of operations. Okay, like this, you can perform some kind of operations. Okay, complex data types have some built-in attributes to be get the values of the real part and imaginary part separately. How we could get here in the sense, so z dot real. What is the real value? 10.0. What is the z value here? Am I? Where z? Yes. Real part is 10.0. So z dot real. So that is 17.5. Look at this. Z dot img imaginary part. IMG or Z.imag. Z.imag. Okay, 13.8. 13.8. Okay. Somebody has writing the annotations. I don't accept. Tomorrow I will also display who write this annotation. After open the college, I will take the necessary actions on the person. Okay, if you write any annotation, the name also be displayed. I will make such kind of settings in my okay, now please remember. Okay, like this you can take the complex attributes. Okay, in this way you can take into consideration. Normally these complex attributes will be taken in electrical engineering applications or electronic engineering applications or scientific applications. Complex attributes or complex data types are used. For our purpose, we are not supposed to use this one here. Okay. One more data type is there. The time is running out. So we will see this particular data type, bool and str, string data type, by tomorrow, and we'll finish off data types by tomorrow, and we'll move to some other operation, some other topic in unit number 1, REPL. REPL. Okay, what is this particular point? We will discuss by tomorrow. Okay, we are already running time out. Only 22 people have attended. I don't know what was happened for all remaining all people.